Go ahead.
Greetings, everyone.
Hey, good to see you, mate.
Yeah,
Good to
indeed.
see you all. Glad to see you all. Lovely to see everything coming together. Just want to just to throw some things in there because I'm going to have to go because I've got another meeting in a minute. So I'm just going to bring some things that may or may not be aware of, because obviously we're talking about acts and statutes here. One an affidavit and statement, a claim that's not been rebutted in a court is a fact, is the truth in law. Correct or not correct?
You're asking me?
As a rule, that is a fact. An unrebutted affidavit or statement is the fact, is the truth in law.
Yeah, that's a common understanding.
So that being so, just as a point that a man who titled himself as Baron, gave himself the title as Baron because Baron was the barrow man, as a man of the land, higher than any crown in the sense as king or queen, because they are public servants. Also stating that, as in the Magna Carta, because it was the barons or the man that pulled the king in, he, in 2013, voided all acts and statutes. Pure and simple because the acts and statutes require the consent of the governed. And this was in his affidavit and statement, and consent equaled to a wet ink signature. And he challenged the system, stating that in England, there was 63.5 million men and women in the UK, in the United Kingdom, or in England, and that for them to have consent to enforce any act or statute upon them, they required the wet ink signatures. And without the 63.5 million wet ink signatures, they had no consent. And all police officers enforcing any act and statute upon a man was all malfeasance in office. That was unrebutted in 2013. Since then, in 2015, he sent that to all 657 MPs, who all failed to rebut and actually agreed. So on that point, yeah, where we're talking about to use any act or statute, I'm just a little point in that they don't exist, in the fact that that affidavit proved that point, that there is none of that. They don't exist. They have no power. They have no authority to enforce anything over a man. And that affidavit, I think I put in there the last time that I was saying, when I was in here. So that's one thing I just wanted to bring to the point, because we get very tied up in the complications that they've created to make it so complicated. I'm just a simple man, and I like things simple, you know. And the other thing is about the land. Well, I am mud. My body that you're seeing right now, everything that formed this is from the land, is from the mud, from the soil. I am the clay. Anything that I ate, yeah, came from the land to create this. So I am the land. In that logics, you know, my spiritual entity, my soul, my whatever you wish to call it, yeah, that my energetical being that drives this mud, yeah, that is who I am. What you see in front of me is of the land.
So Andy, when we've got controversy that we've got to deal with, what actions are we able to take based on just accept it? If I just accept everything that you just said, so but what actions are we able to take, and in what format do they come about when we're seeking some sort of resolution to what we're in at the moment?
They're all perfect. What Crown's saying is perfect, because you're using, as Jesus did. Jesus used their laws against them, didn't he?
That's right.
He beat them with their own laws. So, you know, as far as the acts and statutes go, one thing is to go through with the fact that you are the crown, because it negates the fact that it bothers you, because they don't apply to you as a crown. There's one way, but the other side to looking at it is, because the Baron's ruthless, you know. The Baron's ruthless. If you come messing with me, you come trespassing on me, to remain in honour, I will get you done. I will correct you. And he puts liens against every one of them.
So I suppose you could say in one case, if I'm looking, and I might be getting the message wrong, but in one place you can say there's no acts or statutes, they don't exist. All right. So they have to either admit that, and if they say, oh no, we do have acts and statutes, we go, awesome, because I'm Crown and I'm over all of it. So either way, they're wrong.
And the other side of it is this. The other side of it is this, yeah, that those acts and statutes do apply to the wet ink signature, and every one of them public servants put their moniker on that contract. So yes, they do apply, and yes, they apply to you because you agreed to them. I didn't.
When you're talking to the
none of us did here. None of us agreed to it. They haven't got our signature. They haven't got our autograph, should I say?
Yeah.
They haven't got our wet ink signature or wet ink autograph. There's obviously signatures to the dead man because it's in cursive.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Crown.
Yeah, I've looked at the affidavit of life and declarations and proclamations and all that, and the dead make declarations and affidavits relating to the man, for sure. The living make proclamations. Only the living can proclaim. So there's two jurisdictions there. But when you're in the fiction, yes, you can apply that technology while you're in the fiction, but that's not going to bring you right out.
But just to a point, which I'm sure Stephen will understand, men claim, not proclaim, because PRO means no.
Yeah, so you're making a no-claim contract.
Yeah. So that's the like I say, it's simple, but they made it complicated for us. But I mean, like I say, the reason that I'm a part of that purple community is pure and simple. Is the simple fact that yes, we have got the difficulty of getting to these policemen because they're not intelligent. They was never employed because they were intelligent. You know, so we need something just to because they work in the 2D, so we'll match the 2D, but with the correctness.
Yeah,
that's all I'm doing. So I mean, I'm going through. I mean, going with the Crown. To know that you're the Crown, you have to know that you're Crown. Otherwise, it's going to be useless to you. If you haven't got the inner standing of the comprehension, you're not going to have no footings, and you'll be knocked over in 2 seconds flat.
That's right.
They're going to come at you like some, you know, they're going to do whatever they want to you, and only the strong shall stand, and only the strong are the ones that are strong in the knowledge that have got the confidence to use it.
That's right.
Okay.
To have a piece of paper, yeah, that you're a part of that community.
Yeah, I'm going to throw something in here, Andy. I'm going to throw something in here because what you're saying is we're more on the same page than I've probably fully appreciated. I thought we were pretty close, but we're actually on the same page. Slightly different way. Maybe it's a different inflection in how we read it, but we're on the same page. But I'm going to bring in something now that's an item of division, and it's something that and it's that bloody flag, right? Mm-hmm. And it's not that one. It's the other one that I can't see. It's that one too. And I'll just preface it. I'll preface it by this. Yeah, there's 3 flags. Okay, so it's just more division. But I'll preface it with what I think straight up is that none of them, to me, none of them are valid because it's somebody saying, I'll give you a right to exist. And nobody's got the right to tell me I can exist because I do. And they're not over me and I don't exist because they said I can. So that's my first thing with all the flags, with all the bloody flags. So I reckon that what we should be doing is creating our own totem, our own standard, our own flag or whatever. But we don't want to get bogged down into a big long thing, but what are we going to do about these flags? Because it seems to be creating a division.
Yeah, in that case then, that's the division. I mean, okay then. I put it one step further. Why do I need a piece of paper to say who I am? We don't need anything.
Well, you don't.
But to get to that position, yeah, that's what it is. I mean, and what is the flag? It's just a representation. It's what's within the flag, yeah. Because this is another thing that I was saying when John was saying what he was saying, that he was the surrogate king, yeah. He wanted to come back.
Could you just expand on John who?
John Winoa. John Winnett, right? So
just for the greater audience, because a lot of people may not be aware.
So John was with the flag behind me. He was with the contract, yeah, with the flag. And the contract, yeah, was between the paramount chiefs and the kings of England, yeah, the King of England, not the queens, because the Queen would say it or forbid the queens, and the Queen was obviously brought in by the Rothschilds. So that was all brought in on a different thing, but the contract was with the kings. So John was stating the contract still stood, but it was with the kings, not the Queen, and she was a third party to a two-party contract. So he was saying about a king to be coming back. And I was, but John also stated at exactly the same breath, yeah, out of the same breath, that it's not up to him which king comes back, it's up to the people. That's if you want a king coming back. Now, my point was this: we are all crowned, obviously, but what would go on that throne? And I just said, for the simples, I mean, obviously, we've got the correct sentence, rich communication, parse, syntax, grammar flag. Yeah, there's a flag, you know, but at the end of the day, ultimately, that's the language that we can all agree with, because we can't lie to each other. Yeah, it's a rule one, rule equal, level playing field. This is what we're bringing here, because no man is above man. Yeah, so the other side of it was about the flag, because we could bring that one flag back. Yeah, and rather than stick a king on that throne or a queen on that throne, you put a flag on that throne, because that flag represented what we need to govern us, to live in a world, yeah, on a rule one, rule equal basis. Because everything of self-governance, everything was within that flag for us. And it also captured everything, because money, yeah, stuff, money, we don't need money. We was gifted, you know, in their construct, we was gifted our weight in gold, yeah, as a child, as a newborn into this world, yeah, to pay for our fees and freights and whatever we needed while we were here on this earth. So that was already paid, and we didn't need money, we just discharged it. So how many times can you sign a piece of paper? What bills can come your way? There's no need for money. It was all created within the trust. So everything, see, that's my basis. There's one rule for everyone, and an equalness within that flag that we can create. And by creating, it doesn't matter which flag it is to me. No, it doesn't. Do we need a flag? No, we don't. Do we need a shield? Well, you could put a shield in there. You could put a crest in there. You could put anything in there. You could just leave the throne empty with the understanding and the knowledge, the fact that this is for everyone. It's a rule one, rule equal. So do we need those things? Well, you know, people need to see something, and they need to see what it represents. And if they see it, oh, it could be this or it could be that, well, it's not correct. Because if it's not correct for you, then it's not correct for me. Because if it ain't equal for everyone, then it's not right. See, a lot of people don't want to speak the quantum. Why don't they want to speak the quantum? Number one, there's only two reasons: because you find it difficult to understand, which is totally understandable, yeah, or you don't want to tell the truth because you like deceiving people.
I think that with the quantum, I've always seen that as being being for the language of contract, but not necessarily the language of poetry. It's a bit clunky when it comes down to that. But also we need something that the common man and woman, normal people, can participate with, and they don't need a third party to explain to them what it means.
The other thing is, just to butt in, because I mean the originals, yeah, right, or as John was saying, and I dare say Nelson would say the same. They used to speak. They didn't nothing. There was no written words. It was their voice.
Yep.
You know, and their words were before bastardization. Their words were perfect. They said what they meant and meant what they said. It wasn't until the psychopaths, you know, the tricksters, you know, whatever you want to call them, doesn't really matter what you want to call them. The people that deceived us with the word, because in the beginning was the word, and the word was what? You can call it God, you can call it truth, you can call it Trump that trumps everything. It's the end all, it's the be all. The word was, when you say what you mean and mean what you say, it's the sword that cuts through anything. Okay, so in the beginning was word, so the word meant everything. Yeah, so what we speak is how we want to be very careful what we say, because not only do they save you, they kill you too. So you know, it's very, you know, it's very powerful. When the word is very, very, you know, it's the most powerful thing in the world as far as I'm concerned. Yeah?
So Andy, from where you are at the moment, do you see with what we're doing with the legislation and taking our role as Crown, utilising that legislation as a legitimate or a legitimate way forward?
Why not add it to it? End of the day, what did I say about the perfect form community? It's a community. I wanted, what did I say about when I was putting it out there? I wanted to bring people in. I want to bring people in there with their minds. You know, you come in. If you've got something to bring in to add to this community, you're going to make this community stronger.
But what we're trying to do is, all of that, but what we've got at the moment is we have oppressors. And we need to be able to break through that. We've got to break through this stranglehold that they've got on community. And the law is the one thing. Okay, they've got the media, they've got a whole lot of control mechanisms. But if we're going to make a stand somewhere and at some point we end up in a court of law, or which we don't want to go there, but if we end up there, if you ended up in a court of law, what role would you take?
I wouldn't speak to them. I wouldn't be contracting any of them. They'd be dragging me in there. They're nothing over me. I'm nothing. Yeah. I'm not part of them.
I say, I agree, but at some point we actually have to take some action to break through them, because they're not just going to go away.
If I've got to that stage, yeah, then it's the same. I would just put my live life claim on the floor and stand on it.
Yeah, look, I get that, because I've studied, and then you're not even on the same plane if we want to go that far. So,
exactly.
Right?
I'm not on the well of the court, but the fact of who I am is.
Yeah, but see, I've been there. I've been with David, right, in the Supreme Court in Sydney, in the High Court, where we've had to leave very, very quickly before security got hold of us. And he had a plane to catch, and if security got us, he wasn't going to catch his plane. And so we weren't able to file our documents. Now, I've still got documents here, right here with me, with David's autograph on them, my autograph on them, to go into court, to be filed. I was with David. I filed documents. He filed documents. 2 weeks after that, neither of us, and we tag teamed the registry, and we couldn't file the documents at all. So this is what I'm talking about now. We can have a stance and we can not participate with them, but that's not going to provide a resolution. That's not going to fix anything. And at some point, we have to have an action that we take to break through, because they're not going to go away.
You can't stop someone killing you.
No, I know, but if I stand with you, I stand with you and we resist and we're not going to do, but how do we stand? Or is it in a court of law? How do we get rid? I'm not. Well, I suppose I am trying to put you on the spot in a way.
If anything that I took from Russell J. Gould, is the fact of what he did by remaining humble and by not contracting in any way, shape, or form, and until they bowed to what he was to get him. So, if anything, there's most definitely, regardless to whatever he's become, because of whatever he's become, for why he's become, the point is, he showed, plus David showed, certainly myself, how to be in this world, and to how not to mess with this mafia that's bullying us and that's harvesting us. Yeah. Never to associate yourself with them. And
I agree, but they're making it a bit hard not to at the moment, when you're dragging women out of cars by their ankles. And
but those people, as you know, are not on the land. Those people not of the awareness, and those people don't have anything to show. And what they do show is just show them that, number one, that they're a placenta. Number two, that they're owned by the corporation. Number three, they haven't got a voice. They can't make a claim. These people can do this, and you're doing this with policemen that haven't got a clue. They don't know what they're doing. They're just following orders. And they've got to understand that sooner or later, just like in the Nuremberg treaties and the Nazis, it's coming for them too. And all the police that have been doing what they're doing will be rounded up and will be brought under trial.
Okay,
sooner
so
or later,
when you say that, who's going to do that, and who are they going to be, and how are they going to do it?
The people. And I'm hoping, that sooner or later, that we all become compassionate enough to actually forgive them for what they did, just like Jesus said, "Forgive them, Lord, for they're not."
Well, we can forgive them, but first we've got to overcome them.
No, first they've got to admit that they was wrong. You can't forgive somebody.
Either way, at some point they've got to either submit or give up or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
and this is the point. I mean, how can we do it to those, because they work under the rule, as let those that are deceived be deceived.
Yes.
And if they can do whatever they want to you, well, I say, yes, okay, that's fine. And I can agree with that.
So
But
what I'm saying is,
don't deceive us to be deceived. That's what they did. And that was not, that's against the rule.
yeah. So
They
like
deceived us in the first place.
I don't promote violence or anything like that.
No.
But what I
No,
see
we
at the
can't.
moment is that we do have to take action to overcome this, because they're not
Yeah.
just going to give up because they go, oh, hang on, I think I've been being well, not really fair, I'll stop doing that. They're not going to do it at all. So it's a matter of working out an action.
That's where the Baron comes in. But you know, the issue is there, you see, because I mean, what is money? I mean, the money is the fact of, it's the financial commercial instrument, yeah? Well, the money was created to whoever becomes the surety. So, I mean, with the liens, that's what we're creating. But unfortunately, with what the Baron's done, was creating the billions of pounds worth of liens over the years that he's been doing it, with all the judges and so on and so, all the police and all the people, yeah, that he's created liens against. We haven't an honourable bank that will cash them. Russell wouldn't even cash them. No one would cash them. So even if they have a bank, so all the bankers are the same. They won't cash these liens in. And because once you start stripping them everything they've got, then that's when they're going to come to realise that that's exactly what I mean, where's the deterrent, guys? Where is the deterrent for these people? When the deterrent is the one that's doing it to you.
Yeah.
You know, the criminal justice system was there to protect the criminals, not the people that wasn't the criminals in their club. In their club, we criminals, they won't protect us because that's who they want us to grass onto each other. Yeah. Because if you grass on one of their members, yeah, you get put in a mental home, or you get locked up for life, yeah, or you get killed.
Okay, so what I'm putting forward is that as a community of people, as a collective or whatever, however we go about, we have to take some affirmative action to gain our ground, to regain our, I don't want to say regain, but to gain our ground from those who've taken it. And I'm looking at what is it that we can do. And I'm not asking you because I've got the answer. I'm asking you because I don't. Right.
Well, my answer to that was always with what Rupert Sheldrake. I don't know if you know Rupert Sheldrake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, Rupert Sheldrake and the morphic resonance. So you've got Rupert Sheldrake, morphic resonance, and the 100th monkey. That's about as much as I'll say. It'll only happen when it happens. That change, the change in the world will happen when the numbers of the knowledge grow. And that resonates with the people, and they start seeing how it should be, because it's a herd mentality. It always has, it always will be. Until it isn't. So when people see, yeah, that people are getting away with these things, not getting away with, sorry, when they're not being able to enforce this malakia on the people, those people, because they always say, I mean, everyone's all said it, I bet you've all said it yourself, one rule for them, one rule for us.
Yeah.
No, it isn't. It isn't a one rule for them, one rule for us.
So our main job at the moment would be to bringing more people to be aware of what's going on, and then from my point of view, from what I say for me, is that I won't comply with them. I'm not complying with what they want me to do. I comply with what's just and correct, but not with what they're trying to impose on me.
Well, I mean, what did David say? I mean, it was very simple on those things. Like, yeah, I'm not here to. I wish to contract with anybody who wishes to contract me. My simple terms and conditions are correct syntax, communication, parse, syntax, grammar. I'm not asking for anything wrong. So whichever it is, whichever act or statute you wish to apply to me, you know, you can go through that way. Other than that, you can go through Nelson's route, which is what Crown's done. Yeah, you can say, you know, I'm Crown. You know, show me whatever. It's the same thing, isn't it? It's the same, but it's just a different, you know, there's many paths to lead to the top of the mountain, you know, and sooner or later we'll cross. We will all meet up, and it's going to be that one. That's what I've been. I mean, I've been searching. I've been helping a lot of people out, and I've seen them all get trapped. And it was all. I mean, why am I still living? Why am I still alive? Why have they not touched me? They've come to try and arrest me. I've walked in the courts. I've been in England when I was doing the held in the court on St James's Park on the 28th of March. The police came up to try and hassle me and arrest me. Yeah, they left me alone, and all it was. I mean, and John said, "Look, we're not here to break laws. We're here to make laws." So I had to be nice to the police. I had to be nice to them, and I had to go along with what they was doing, because John was saying, "Look, just go along with him." And the two guys were there. There was with the motorbikes. We shouldn't have had to move them, but they did, because we're just being nice to them. But it wasn't until they started to press the charges on them, and I'd stated my fact of my name, my factual name, and then I gave my driving license out. This is because they said about, you know, proof of it. So I pulled my driving license out, and on my driving license, I've got my Pt4 and I've got David's card, and I've got all the laws. I've got the laws on it, and I explained to him what you're now breaking. So I'm saying, please stop, because I don't want to get you done. And I says, but if you're going to carry on, I'm going to get you done. And I says, and you 3 police there, yeah, you shouldn't watch him break the law. I'm going to get you 3 done too. I'm not kidding you. Within minutes, yeah, some other police came over and removed them. They asked me to sit and talk to them. I sat and talked to them again. They said, very well articulated. Thank you very much. The floor's yours. Take as long as you want. And they all sat and just sat in the background, just watched while we held the court. And John had to hold that court while he was in Hong Kong, because the scumbags in England had sent him back over to, they dumped him halfway in Hong Kong when they chucked him out of the country because he was a threat to the Queen.
Yeah.
So John held the court like, yeah, and at the end of that court, the policeman came back over to me and shook my hand and said, thank you very much. And that was it, job done. So, I mean, it's not about, it's like you say, I mean, it's all about how you talk. It's all about how you talk. And if you start getting frustrated because you don't know the answers, you're going to get angry and you're going to say the wrong things and they're going to get angry. It's just, it's a natural thing that you do. But if you can remain honourable and humble, you know, that's the kid. I mean, I used to always, always in my life, when people come up screaming and shout, or, you know, falling out, or say you've done something, I just used to leave and wait there until they'd said something that they knew they was out of order for saying it, and then I'd snap at them and they'd shut up, because they knew they'd gone too far. And it's just a mind game. It's all poker.
Yeah,
it's all poker. It's the whole thing. It's all about black.
The main thing is that you've got to have the knowledge. You've got to have the knowledge of knowing who and what.
Knowledge is key to everything, and that is the confidence, and that's what gives you your standing. So knowledge is always going to give you your standing. So
we've got correct sentence structure, but you're conducting yourself as Crown.
Well, I'd never used. I mean, I totally understand what is the whole principle of that. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
Well, we've got Agent Swift over here, and I got him, introduced him to Crown, because when he was going to court, that's the role he was adopting, but he never referred to himself as Crown because it hadn't occurred to him. So, but he was consistent with it. So that's sort of what I mean.
But again, I mean, so I can revert to the simple fact of an unrebutted affidavit of truth, which the Baron David Ward did. Yeah, and that simply states that, have you got my written signature? Have I contracted with you, sir? Yes. Because I don't seem to remember. I don't think I've given a contract with you, and you need my written signature for that to be enforced on me. Yeah. And you do know that that's coercion, and that is also malfeasance in office, and that's up to 25 years in prison. Now, I don't want to get you done. Now, you're meant to know the law better than me.
Well, there'll be a lot of people in the room tonight that would be aware of what you're saying as far as a wedding signature. But for the people who haven't heard of that before, what Andy has just told you is a very, very important thing. Everything is contract. And if you haven't agreed to it, you're not subject to it.
Period.
As long as you can hold your ground. Thanks very much, Andy. Yeah. And it's great to see you again, mate.
Yeah, well, I've got to get off now. So God bless you all. Keep smiling, and may we all meet together and sit around a campfire and have a spliff or a drink or whatever you want, and have a bit of music. And,
cheers, Andy.
No worries. Thank you very much.
God bless you all. I'll take care now. Bye-bye now.
Okay.